I think about death every day. Like, I could die today, or I could lose one of my dogs today.
Are you afraid of it?
Tonight, we are working to learn more about a shooting that left a Florida rapper dead and 3 others hurt in Tampa.
Now cars filled with bullet holes are at the center of an investigation to find out why famous rapper Julio Foolio, who just turned 26, was shot dead early this morning.
The rapper was kicked out of an Airbnb, then went to a hotel. That's where investigators believe Jones and his entourage were ambushed.
Hotel guests like Jeremiah Claypool had to be escorted to and from their rooms post-gunshots.
What's good, everybody? We got to check into the Julio Foolio situation. I have seen people on social media straight up celebrating about it, but what I don't think they realize is the amount of blood that's going to spill in the streets of Jacksonville because of this. Everything that could have went wrong that night. Foolio was shot multiple times in the passenger seat of his car in a parking lot out in Tampa, Florida, after he was kicked out of his Airbnb. I've heard so many rumors and fake stories circulating. This stuff about him still being alive because someone is still using his Instagram account. Brick Baby going on No Jumper to say 6 of Foolio's ops have already been killed since his death.
Youngin Ace, his boys? Yeah, been dropping like 6, 7.
That's all fake. We don't have to invent stories. Reality is already crazy. You see, what some of you probably haven't thought of is just how coincidental the whole situation is. Let me explain. Foolio was the face of the block he grew up on, called 6 Block. Made it big for dissing Youngin Ace's best friend, 23, not to be confused with Jada Youngin's 23, who died while celebrating his birthday in 2018. Foolio gets gunned down 6 years later on June the 23rd, 2024, doing the same thing. So it's literally a full circle moment. But what makes it even more crazy is that when 23 was celebrating his birthday, 4 people get shot, 3 dies, and only Ace survives. And when Foolio was celebrating his birthday, 4 people get shot, 3 survives, and only Foolio dies, as if karma perfectly catches up to him in the form of poetic justice. And if you're online even a little bit, you've seen the rumors that Youngin Ace is responsible for Foolio's death. We saw close Youngin Ace affiliates quickly posting to their IG stories just 5 hours after his death. Even one affiliate posting a vlog titled New Op Pack. In it, where he says, "The beginning of the end," referencing the war that has been going on for years between Foolio's KTA gang versus Youngin Ace's ATK gang, where there's been multiple killings on both sides. This is one of rap's most craziest stories, and there's a lot to get into, so let's just go ahead and get straight to it, where we have to head to the 13th largest city in the country by population, Jack and Kill Jacksonville, in Sunshine State, Florida. So Foolio was the biggest rapper to ever come out of the north side of Jacksonville, but also the biggest op in his city. In his music, he carries this doomy, gothy aesthetic with impressive wordplay, despite what he's talking about being super demonic shit. He was so hated in his city, people were surprised he even lasted so long in the war, after having 100K on his head, admitting this in his songs and in interviews, but also the simple fact he already had 5 attempts on his life, oddly enough, dying on the 6th attempt. And over the years, Foolio has been going back and forth with Youngin Ace in music, which helped both of their careers. They brought a new wave to drill rap, hiding the clues to revenge killings inside their music videos, taking the beats from classic pop songs and trying to rap the most demonic shit over it. Both Foolio's and Ace's most popular track, oddly enough, currently sitting on 50 million views. Fast forward to today, you got Youngin Ace dropping 3 tracks that all dropped exactly at 6 p.m. The first one, and his most recent one, seem to be just subliminals, but the second track he dropped is worth noting, because Ace uses the title of this track, Game Over, clearly mocking Foolio's death, to state that since his death, the game being the war is over, and he has won, in it displaying a Don Julio bottle saying in the chorus, 5 in the morning, I got a call, what is it? Dead on the floor, dead on arrival. Mr. 6, I'm steady, screaming out fuck the law, and fuck the 6'4" in the car, and one of them dead. 3 got hit. People have been speculating that Foolio committed suicide by homicide, and I can see why. He was still mourning his fallen members that died from the war, and he could have had survivor's guilt from all the attempts on his life. In some of his recent interviews, people say they can see the look of depression in his eyes and facial expressions, but what it feels like is he built this godlike complex. I mean, put yourself in his shoes just a second. You survive 5 attempts on your life. You decide to live in the war zone in Jacksonville and still remain alive for years. While your top op Ace moved out to Houston, you and your grandma are playing around with voodoo for your spiritual protection.
I'm a demigod, man. You can't get me.
I can't die, dummy. I got voodoo on me.
Anyways, so the events leading up to his death all started when he posted to Instagram a club he was going to celebrate at for him and his boys, J-Dot and Dookie's birthday, 6 days before. But this isn't the first time Foolio has dropped his location, believe it or not. There's been multiple times. Like that time his car gets shot up after posting to Instagram a video of him in Houston filming a music video. In the Who I Smoke track, Fast Money Goon boldly claims doing the hit. Or that time he calls out T.I.'s son, King Harris, for acting gangster. And when they start to go back and forth, Foolio literally drops his location under one of the King Harris's response videos. So throughout the celebrations, he was constantly posting to Instagram videos of the Airbnb, him and the group on their way back to the Airbnb from the club, drunk from all the alcohol. And it does make you question why. Because we've seen so many rappers posting to social media, leaving clues where they're at. And I mean, Foolio wasn't stupid. He knew how to move around. He had been caught slipping many times before, so he definitely knew the risks. So we know that Foolio's car was found in the parking lot of a Holiday Inn hotel when it was shot up. But what some of you probably don't know is that Young and Ace almost ambushed Foolio at a hotel 2 years ago. And Foolio confirms it being true when he goes on Clubhouse with Ace talking about the situation.
Last time I pulled up on his ass. At that motherfucking hotel.
I ain't gonna count. Y'all was gonna jump us, but we was gonna whoop one of y'all ass. I don't know, man. That shit was crazy.
I look at my brother. I say, bro, hold on. This nigga think I don't know. Yeah, I say, hey, go put his address real quick for me, real quick. So that bitch say 3 minutes. I say, oh yeah.
Hey, I asked the nigga downstairs. I say, what they got? Dread? They got chains on? I say, boy, them boy downstairs. I'm gonna tell you, we came out the back way. We came out the back way to pull up on hop in the car with these hoes. I say, cuz, we finna get our ass jumped. Like,
on the night Foolio died, police were called to the Airbnb, and everyone there, including Foolio, was kicked out for too many people being in it. Some people wanted to continue having a good time celebrating, so Foolio decides to try and check into a hotel. While he's sitting in the passenger seat of his car in the video footage, you see 3 masked-up gunmen with semi-automatic guns approaching the car, one running towards the car on the left, and one hops out right in front, shooting directly at the front windshield of the car. And whoever was driving the car, you see tries to run over the shooter in front, who quickly backs up onto the curb as the car starts taking a right turn, still continuing to fire into it. And that's where we see the third shooter, standing in between parked cars on the opposite side, starting to shoot into it. It does seem like they had all the exits blocked off in a one-way in, one-way out situation. The fact these guys were very prepared and came with super highly powered guns, I'm talking about AR-15s that shoots 5.56s with what looks like drums attached. So just imagine all that flying into a car from 3 different angles. It's like an overkill. And it shows you whoever was behind it really wanted this guy gone. Right now we got more questions than answers. But one question we will probably never get the answer to is if Foolio actually got snaked by someone at that party. Foolio himself didn't know who he could trust. The last time he was shot, he was claiming it was his own cousin that set him up that ended him getting shot in the foot with a rifle. In his track, God Don't Know, he says, "It's some snake inside my grass, fucking with ATK." And yeah, he did drop the location to the club, so in theory, all the hitmen needed to do was follow him from the club. But people began to question if someone from the party was signaling to the hitmen the perfect time to execute the hit. People started reaching for clues, quickly accusing all sorts of people like his girlfriend, the girls celebrating at the party. But then they turned to Mizzle, who was there at the party when they found a picture of him chilling with Foolio's op Backstreet TK, and noticed he follows some of Foolio's ops on Instagram. Mizzle had to post a picture on Instagram with Foolio when they were younger to prove he was a longtime friend and would never snake him. And according to people from Jacksonville, he wasn't involved in the war, so he does chill with Foolio's ops as he never picked a side and known them a long time too. The most recent name people think may have possibly set Foolio up is SCY Jim. And a quick disclaimer here, what I'm about to speak on is in no way, shape, or form me claiming SCY Jim had anything to do with Foolio's death. So SCY Jim is a rapper from Bunnell, Florida, that Foolio has been wanting to collab with since forever. They say Jim wouldn't collab with Foolio because Jim's manager, Him Smoke, who was also Wappa Witta Choppa's manager at one point, is a part of ATR Records, which is Michi's label. Michi, who was one of Foolio's ops that died. Jim, over the last months, has been hanging with Wappa and J. Breezy, again, Foolio's ops, even features on multiple songs with them and has collabs with them on some of his own music. A month before Foolio's passing, Foolio had addressed rapper Wiz Havin for dissing him in his track Don Julio, where he says, "Street dude, I ain't going out like Foolio. I'm a gangsta, I can't troll like I'm Foolio," showing bottles of Don Julio in the music. But also note that this is something Ace and other ATK affiliates have been using as a way to diss Foolio too. Heck, Ace just recently began doing shows again, and while performing, he passes Don Julio shots to the crowd. Now, apparently there is connections with Wiz Havin and Wappa, J. Dot, Ace, Az out in Tallahassee, where Wiz is from. You have crews like TMH and MFQ, which are also ATK affiliates, which would explain the diss track to Foolio. And if you know about Jim, then you know about Wiz Havin, because they have been close since they both started rapping. Now, the day before Foolio passes, all of these posts of features and collabs posted to his Instagram were removed from Jim's page. The night of Foolio's passing, Foolio and Jim post videos within 25 minutes of each other promoting the same Tampa phone store, which was a collab post with Arab boy Yaya on Instagram. Keep in mind, Jim was also promoting a pool party, which was also taken down the day before. Foolio later posted that he was going to a pool party, and whoever had the address should pull up too. Jim had posted the public address days before, and once people start commenting under his post speculating he was involved and that he likely had killers follow Foolio around Tampa from there until the perfect time to go in and strike, he also deletes his phone store video. Now Foolio is gone, people start giving their condolences. Jim, who was with Foolio, never had anything to say. But what makes things strange is that his first post after Foolio's death is his new song. The strange thing about this was in the music video, he's at a golf course, wearing the exact same attire as Wappa, Ace, and other ATK affiliates in the Who I Smoke music video. So this has led some people to believe that it may have been a very coordinated hit that involved multiple artists from Florida who all had a problem with Florida's most hated op. But again, like I said, I'm not claiming him or anyone else had anything to do with it. This is all speculation after all. Since the death of Foolio, there's been no arrests made and the police are still investigating into it. It's a dark period for the drill rap scene, as we did lose another rapper to gun violence. R.I.P. Foolio, a Jacksonville legend. That's it for this video. Comment on what video I should cook up next. Like and subscribe if it was worth the watch. I checked in, now checking out.